high note, done. Immediately done. Anyway, it's Leafs Talk. JD Bunkis, Sam McKee. Follow the boys on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis, at Sam McKee. Are you wearing a Leafs hoodie? No. Okay. You just got stains? What's going on?
I took a sip of water and I made a spill, so it's all good. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Dude, that was what a wild finish of the Leafs. But before anything, when Tavares has that puck roll on him and McKinnon breaks the other way, did you think for a split second that this was going to be, what was it, Eves? That bit it?
Buddy, it was full Patrick Stefan mode there for a second.
Patrick
I got
Stefan,
really when McKinnon was going through the neutral zone there, picking up speed, and he cut it to the outside. And who was it that he got on defense? I was looking away. I didn't know who it was that he got.
I don't know. I was
staring.
I looked at him make that move, and then my eyes bolted to the clock, and I went, "Please no,"
because I really thought that was going to squeak in underneath his. What happened with Tavares? Did the puck roll on him? Like, did he just forget how to play?
Okay,
I don't know what happened.
This is my theory, having seen it once. I think he started trying to do like the NFL running back play, almost like he was trying to down it at the 1 yard line, and then I think he was trying to get closer, burn a little clock, and then it might have rolled on him, and he went, "Oh crap!" and he couldn't shovel it in the net. That's my guess, because it did look a little weird. Like he had a clear opportunity to just put it in the net. And I don't know if it's because they just cross-checked the guy in the face for an empty netter or what, but
clapper. We needed a clapper there so bad.
He looked like he was double clutching on that sucker and wanted to take a beat before he did it. Anyway, I think then it rolled on him, and then the rest was history. Anyways, Leafs win despite, I think, only having 2 shots in the third period. A really fun hockey game. Where do you want to start?
I think you have to start with the obvious, with the top news of the evening, with Tyler Bertuzzi finally pushing it over the line like we've been asking all year. And I think, those are 3 goals that are pretty, borderline tap-ins, not borderline all tap-ins, but he's been missing tap-ins all year. So you have to be really, really happy to see just the reaction for me, how excited he was, and the monkey off his back, and specifically on the second one, the reaction he had with his line mates now with Nylander and Domi. It just feels to me like those guys have really been great for each other. And you can just see it in him. I thought he was great before he even scored tonight, specifically defensively. He had a couple excellent plays with his stick. I know we'll roll a whole pack here, but I was just really impressed with him all night.
Bags 2 means
maybe he scored 2 and maybe he forgot to put 3. I don't know. Who knows what it is? But anyways,
it's got to be our weirdest Cairo job of the season so far. He scored a very, very famous hat trick, boys. And I don't know what bags 2 means. Anyway, I'm with you. Okay, so they're tap-ins, but guess what? This guy wasn't brought in here to be Mikko Rantanen. He's not supposed to be a sniper. He's supposed to be a guy who goes to dirty areas and bangs in goals. And that's what he did tonight. And he did it in spectacular fashion. And to me, the story of the game, as much as it is the goals and the emotions and the things that you talk about, is, buddy, he was incredible. Drew the penalty to start the game that gets them their first power play and scores. Look at that one. Oh, just driving that smart hockey smarts play on the forecheck all night. Broke up, blocked a shot with a broken stick, just out there. I actually was thinking, I wonder if more teams have ever tried just having guys skate to the bench when they break a stick. And just go. You're hemmed in by the scariest team in hockey. Just go. Get out of there when there's a chance. Doesn't do it. Stays in there. Blocks a shot. Breaks up a surefire goal. I think in the third period, that's just a backdoor tap in. He was everywhere, playing with emotion and playing with just a ton of tenacity, finish, everything. That's a beautiful, I don't know what they're doing giving Mitch Marner all that space, but dude, that was the total Tyler Bertuzzi experience. And for those of us like myself that held on to all the stock, we are celebrating tonight.
You're rich. Bertuzzi Island is fruitful this evening.
Yeah.
The crops are sprouting out. The sun's out.
But you know what I mean? It's a big game. It's a big game. And this guy's supposed to be a big game player 100%. And he shows up for it. 100%. So awesome stuff for Bertuzzi.
Yeah. Like before the puck dropped, Chris Cuthbert, who is the best in the business, just outlining all the star power that's in this game, right? When it's like the drop of the puck, he's like, is that good enough for you? And it's like, that's his classic CC. And just highlights how many
incredible on fire tonight.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's on it's just big game feel. He was just on fire, but you see all those guys that are involved in this game. And when Tyler Bertuzzi is clearly the best player in it, that's crazy. That's not something I came out of this game expecting, when it's like how many of the best players in the league are playing in this game? And Tyler Bertuzzi is clearly the best and had big moments at both ends. And look how fired up he is there. If you're watching
the little jump,
he loves it. Like, it just this trip, man, and like the 5-game winning streak with Riley out and then getting the win in Vegas, coming here, beating the Avalanche with 7 in a row, longest winning streak since, I don't know, was it 2003 that they maybe potentially that long? It was early 2000s. I just, I hate to say I'm back, but I'm impressed, man. I did not see this kind of turnaround coming. And I thought they'd be good. I thought they'd be in the playoffs, but I did not expect them to look this good against elite competition in these 2 games. Like, these 2 games are eye-opening for me, and I hope they're eye-opening for everybody involved with the organization.
Okay, so yeah, I think that there's definitely some really quality resiliency from the group in this game. Like, they go down 2-0. They've been on a long road trip.
Yep.
They're kind of not expected to win this one.
Easily could have packed it in, and no one would have. Like, if they got smoked, no one would have cared. Well, maybe would have cared a bit.
No, see, I'm the opposite feel of that, buddy. Like, that's my whole thing about. There was a narrative here tonight that was building where, and thank you, Mikko Rantanen, for putting that puck over the glass. Like, heavenly by you. Well,
no pan. There was no one on him. He was just sitting there. He just rolls on him. He puts it out. That's got to be a horrible feeling. Hockey's so stupid. Awful. These guys are just whacking each other. No penalties. Great officiated game. Just letting them play hard, hammering each other, and a puck rolls on you. It goes over the glass. You gotta go. You gotta go, bud. Like, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Listen, Leafs started the game with 1. That was controversial. Benoit. And the game closes on 1 where it's a no pressure play. But I saw there was actually a little bit of discourse online about that penalty. I think it was Ian Mendez that posted about how he hates that penalty. I love that penalty. Like, it forces you to play smart in your own end. And can't allow you just to panic and flip it out when you're given pressure. But that one
avoids gray area. It just avoids gray area because before they put it in, whenever there was any pressure, guys were just hammering it out, and they were putting it into and it just alleviated pressure. You got to change. Like, it's a rule. There's a reason they put it in, but you can't coach gray area. You can't be like, oh, that one was on purpose. We're giving them. It's just cut and dry. You shoot it out. That's a penalty. I'm not like upset about it. I just think it's hilarious compared to like how hard the guys were battling all night, hammering each other. And I get the one that decides the game.
Yeah. I just think, like, to kind of get back to the point I was trying to make is there was a bit of a narrative building to me anyways of, okay, so you hung around the game, but Colorado, I think, was out shooting them 8-0 before that penalty, maybe 9-0. The Leafs definitely looked scrambly in that third period. There's no doubt about it. I don't think scrambly is a word, but they were scrambling around.
I think scrambly is a word.
Nah, you're not the guy I'm trusting on this, brother.
I've said scrambly a million times in a hockey context, but outside of a hockey context, it may not be a word.
I don't think I feel like if we were playing
Scrabble,
we were playing some Scrabble. Scrambly,
no triple word score on that one, baby.
I think scrambly would get thrown off the board. I think we dictionary check that. Jobo, dictionary check that for us. Just put it in the Scrabble rules. Anyway, you could have made the case that if Colorado won that game late, that they still don't know how to close games against good teams. And I think the last I saw, Vegas was losing 3-2 to a pretty terrible Ottawa team. Maybe they pulled that one out. I don't know. But I think people could have picked it apart. The Colorado win at the end of the trip is a massive, massive victory. It's easily and unequivocally their most important win of the season. For them to roll that momentum back home and not have any doubts of, oh, did we beat up on some bad teams? Did we pick opportunity wins? No. Like, none of that. There's no doubt. The Leafs are, I'm sorry, the Leafs are back. I'm saying it. The Leafs are back.
I'm really upset to inform you. The Leafs are absolutely back. I regret to inform you.
The haters are going to hate this, but scrambly is not a playable word. Fair enough. Dictionary. Sorry. Sorry for you.
Yeah. So Vegas did end up losing to Ottawa in a shootout. So Vegas is hurting, man. I think they were talking in the broadcast there about how many guys are missing. They've missed by far the most man games this year. That's what happens after you go on a long cup run. Guys are just dead. Like, it happens every single year with these teams coming out of it where it's like, this guy has lacerated spleen. He can't play anymore. It's just guys get hurt. But so where did you want to go from there? Because I had a few different things.
I got one other thing to say about, big game feel and big game this and big game that. Okay, so To me, all right, if you want to point to Leafs kind of going to sleep in the third period a little bit, I don't think that they did that. I thought that they were playing pretty intense hockey. Colorado was better. They looked like the better team for most of the third period. That being said, if you're in a playoff series, you're not going to be the better team against the elite of the elite every single period. It's not going to happen. But you know what's going to be a huge differentiator for you is capitalizing on your power play opportunities. And one thing that the Toronto Maple Leafs have really struggled with in the playoffs the last couple of years, one of the things that has been kind of the bane of their existence has been not being able to turn this talented group into a successful playoff power play unit. And to me, that was a nice reminder in a game like this. You're playing Colorado, and it was kind of an effortless couple of goals for them on the power play. They look awesome. And a big part of this is just, it's obviously the scoring prowess of Austin Matthews and the ability that anytime a puck goes cross ice to him on that right side, he's just whipping it in the back of the net.
And everybody cheats on him too. It opens up everything. They cheat on him so hard.
But Mitch Marner, you can't give him space. He has the beautiful assist that just a tap in for Bertuzzi on the first one. He gets the goal that is an awful one by Georgiev, who had a couple of kind of stinky moments in this game.
He was lost.
Yeah, just not able to find it, not able to track it. But Mitch flips one in on him. But what was the problem in both situations? It's that the Avs were given 16, way too much space, which he's creating, of course, but it's like you can't close in on him because he's got the legs going and he's moving
just out of this world.
That's what I'm saying. He moves like so few players do in the NHL, and man, he's dominating right now. Like he's on another level.
That's the main thing I wanted to say coming out of this game. To me, Mitch Marner's playing the best hockey of his career. And I think this is the best he's ever looked. Like
last year he was pretty awesome.
I know, but to me, he looks faster, bigger. Like right now, to me, this stretch of hockey when they've won, I mean, what does he have? 15 assists and 16 points in his last 7 games. Like he is out of this world.
Dominating.
And I can't, of course he was really good. He had a 25 game point streak last year. I remember that. I remember how good he was last year, but to me, this is the best he's ever looked. And that goal there where he's curling back and he's using his edges, I just really hope that he can continue to grow on this and we can see this Mitch in the playoffs, because that's always what it is. And that's always what he gets measured against, which is fair. I'm not saying it's not fair. That's the whole thing. But like, if he can continue this kind of play into the first round and second round of the playoffs, people are going to it's so easy for him to flip the narrative here. Like if he just has a one run, even all he got to do is go to the third round and have him have 15 points in 3 rounds. And he's unbelievable. Like, it doesn't take much for him to flip the narrative on him for that. And some of these narratives are fair. I'm not saying that. It's just watching him play right now. Yeah. He is like the number 1 playoff narrative guy. Like he is the one that takes the brunt of it. He's the one who's had the biggest drop off in the playoffs. The space gets smaller. It gets a bit
over the puck over the glass.
100%. So I don't want to bring that up right now because it's just like he's coming off one of the best games or best stretches of games he's ever had. But it's just an absolute delight to watch him play right now. I'm just beyond impressed. He looks unbelievable.
But it is fair to bring up because this is a measuring stick game for this team. The regular season is just supposed to be a test for what you might look like come playoff time. And that is especially the case with this fan base. It's the reason why Austin Matthews might score 70 goals this season. And most of the fans in the fan base are like, that's awesome. We're absolutely rooting for it. But ultimately, that's not what you care about. You care more about him scoring a game-winning goal in a game 7 than 70 goals. Did you see Max Domi after the game the other night?
I did. I loved it.
And yes, of course, that's got to be the mentality of this team. And if you're trying to look for reasons that this team could be different, then you had a pretty good outlier today, or an example today, which is they played really well, down 2 goals in the arena of one of the toughest teams to beat in all of hockey. That matches up extremely well with them. And Sheldon Keefe called out their stars after last game, said they were on a different level. I thought that the 3 best players in this game tonight, 2 of them were Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep. And that's what you want to see. You want to see a response, and they had it. So yeah, that was it's fun, man. That feels like so long ago where you're just like, they're on a different planet. It's just the one other thing I wanted to bring up with you here. And I think because we've been very critical of Keefe over this season. I mean, he's talking about guys who have flipped the narrative. This Tavares 3rd line center checking thing, mixing up the lines, keeping Riley. away from Brody for the most part. He's mixing them in here and there, which I completely understand. Like you're watching Lagesson against McKinnon and Rantanen, and I get going back to Old Faithful here and there, but just the way that he's sort of adjusted on the fly here this season. And I guess it was his hand was forced because of what happened with Riley and the guys being sick earlier in the streak. But he really has, for me, flipped the narrative on his season on its head in a way. And I know they've won 7 in a row. It's easy to say that, but it's just not the winning. It's just the way that he's used the guys, the way that he's coaching, putting Bertuzzi on the top power play unit, having him contribute, having their power play look really good with him on the top unit, putting Bertuzzi, Nylander, and Domi together, having them be the second line, elevating McMahon, finding what he can do, making a fourth line that seems to be really like he has pushed all the right buttons here, and it's really led to them playing well. I'm just impressed with him. He's had a good stretch here, and the whole team has, but a lot of it has to do with what he's done with the lineup. It's been good.
Yeah, I especially like that he's keeping Tavares on the third line, but he's still finding ways to get him opportunities.
Give him a little cookie here and there. Like when he loads up the line, it's always Tavares. He did it 2 or 3 times tonight. That's all you need to do.
But I like that because when Sheldon Keefe first came in, that was supposed to be one of his calling cards, is that this guy is creative. He's a different thinker. He's not afraid. We would call him the tinkerer, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was, hey, this guy, he's willing to try new things. Sometimes he'll do it too quickly. And then what happened come playoff time? He would get too rigid and he'd be afraid to make those changes.
Yep.
And here you have a season where why was he being criticized? Afraid to make changes, rolling out the same things over and over and over again, expecting different results. And now all of a sudden he's trying something new. And it feels like a little bit of throwback, Keefe, to when he first arrived with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I like it too. I think it's a really well stated point by you.
Yeah. And it's nice. Like it's just a really different look for this team from the start of the year where they were just winning because all their big guys were playing 25 minutes a night. And they lost a lot of games early in the year. Like this stretch has put them into a playoff spot solidly, but we had conversations multiple times, not that long ago, if we were sure that they were going to be there. And it feels, I guess, it's so funny to keep looking back at that suspension, but man, it really feels like they rallied around that. It's hard not to believe that, especially like people who want to take away from that. You could be like, oh, the competition was no good. But having them go into Vegas, and I know they're hurt, but beat Vegas there on the second half of back-to-back and go into Colorado on a Saturday night and win 2 games, it's tough to tell me that they haven't rallied around that suspension and things are just looking up. Maybe on the championship DVD, they'll look back at that cross-check to the face and everybody be like, oh, that was the turning point. That's when they became a team.
No, I think I don't think that you can dismiss it at this point.
Yeah.
It's not always that that is the reason why something happens, but again, we've said it's an emotional game, and it forced their hand in a couple of different ways to unlock a few things that work better for them, and they've been successful. So I don't know how you could dismiss it completely. So it's probably going to get overrated and overstated by some people.
Of course.
Again,
it's Toronto, bud. That's what we do.
Yeah. It's February, so we got to see if they can maintain this. But yeah, obviously the streak is fantastic. I'm thrilled honestly for the fan base. Like it's February, right? It's not exactly, we got the trade deadline coming up. It's giving you something to talk about other than right-handed D targets. And should they be adding another forward come deadline time, right? Like there's other things to talk about with this group. Anything else?
Yeah, I had a couple Avalanche notes. To me, they are a team that needs to make some additions. It's outside of the top guys who are clearly breathtaking, like McKinnon is just, again tonight, oh my God, what a clinic. Like he is just so fun to watch. What a pleasure to watch. I thought McCarr wasn't great tonight, had a couple moments, but just seems a little bit off. That was his first point tonight in 7 games, which is hard to believe. I would say I love McCarr. It's a lot of Johansson and Colton and Cogliano and that O'Connor plays a ton. To me, like they're clearly a cup. They have a chance to go for a run because of McKinnon, because of the top guys. But if I was coming on here doing Avs talk, I would be talking a little bit about what they need underneath it. To me, they need to make an impact addition to this bottom half of this team. I just don't know quite. They need to get a goalie. This Georgiev's playing every night. He plays every night. Have you seen, like, I think I don't know what his number of starts are, but he's far and away the most starts all year. I love watching these guys play, and I want to see him go deep in the playoffs, but I'm just like, they match up with another good team. Like, I feel like a good team with some depth could really take them out pretty quickly. That's my abs notes.
Yeah, it's a fair note. I will say that I actually thought Miles Wood was kind of all over the place tonight. He had a good game, and he still ended up being
jumps.
Too.
He jumps, but he just does it. He never buries. He's fast, but he comes off the wing and just beats it into the pads. He's Gregor. If he was on the Leafs, we'd be whining about Gregor. It's just the same. It'd be the same thing. It'd be the same thing. But he's bigger than Gregor, really clearly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but that was all I had tonight.
I liked him a lot, and I went, okay, this team's good. The thing about them is that they have so much speed. They're just so deadly in transition. They make you feel super uncomfortable throughout the game. And I thought Toronto really struggled with that at times. But again, they did
started the season for Georgiev tonight. That's a lot of starts.
What have the Leafs played? 57 games?
Yeah. That's a lot of games to play. So they probably got to add a goalie there to help him out a bit. But it's just what a pleasure to watch McKinnon. I think he could.
So good.
It'd be a real conversation for me if you're starting a team from scratch. I know McDavid's unbelievable, clearly.
No,
but I would have a meeting. I'd have a meeting. I think I'd ultimately end up with McDavid, but McKinnon's right there for me, man. He's right.
If I was in that meeting with you,
slap me in the face.
I'd be like, get out. Why are we here? Listen, I love
it's gonna be fun. And we get to watch him play on the same team for a team we love the most. That's gonna be great.
It's not gonna be fun. The fact that I watched the Leafs pump Aiden Hill, and he got dog walked.
You're too worried about this.
He got dog walked by David Camp, and then today or yesterday, I can't remember which, because I was off yesterday, but I was watching a daytime Blues game. It was today. Yeah, I was like, fired it on. I was like, let me get a little moment, literally get a little touch of this. And Jordan Binnington looked horrific and also gave up a 4 spot in the first period and got pulled. And I went, oh boy, they need. Well, hey, guess what?
I got to tell you something. Don't look at Stuart Skinner's numbers recently either, then, buddy. If you want to feel better about it.
He's also been a dog.
He's been really bad. He's come back down to earth.
There was a hot minute where the goalies were all humming at the same time. And
are we the best goaltending nation? Like, are we better than Russia all of a sudden?
It bothers me. Brother. I don't think I have any other notes.
I just got positive notes. I got another one.
Yeah. No. My only negative is the jerseys. I just hate those jerseys. I hate that the signature win came in the black jersey.
At least they won one in those.
I know. I thought they were dead. I couldn't believe that they wore it tonight. I went, are you kidding me? Like, they showed up and I went, this is nuts.
If there's one thing this winning streak can tell you, that if they can survive wearing the black jerseys against a good team on a Saturday night, it's a real streak. That should be the real talk. We should have led with that. They survived these jerseys, not Bertuzzi hat trick. We should have led with that. But I wanted to say that Riley, to me, after that 5-game break, but he is galloping. Like that, you can tell that he was off for a while. He is flying up and down the ice, like just decisive. Like, I mean, he's still, I think there's a conversation there about his defensive game that we've all had a million times, and we've all just come to accept it. We understand what he is, and that's just the way it is. And there's a couple times tonight where you don't love it, but God, he is breathtaking.
Second goal of the game is just him.
I know.
Full inspiration.
I know. Listen, I know. But the way he helps the offense, the way he makes his team go up the ice, he is breathtaking with the puck on his stick. And I just think he looks so fast since he came back, especially in that game against Vegas, but even tonight too. It just flying. Beautiful skater. So I just wanted to bring that up too.
I just thought it was an awesome complete game for Leafs. I didn't think anybody even had a bad game. Like, I know that the fourth line even all end up with a dash, but they also had some pretty good shifts. Like, they had a pretty crucial shift in the third period where, they were kind of banging bodies around, and I thought Reeves is just definitely more of a noticeably positive player as of late. I can't really come away with too many negatives. I thought Samsonov was solid. There wasn't a stinker for me tonight. Like, he was good. He felt poised in the net. He killed a couple of pucks. His rebound control was really solid. Just a really quality top to bottom game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, honestly. And again, in a game where they barely got a shot, maybe they don't get a shot in the third period, if not for a really stupid penalty by Rantanen.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about Bobby McMahon, God, is it nice to have a guy that's big and fast and just drops his shoulder and goes hard to the net. He does it at least once or twice a game where he catches guys. I don't know if this will continue because of like the scouting report and he's new and I don't like people don't know his game, but he's catching boys off guard right now. Like he gets them at the blue guard thing. No,
I think it's just a confidence thing for him. Like,
no,
he's
but
allowed
his
to do it
speed.
now.
Because he's big.
Yeah.
No, just the fact that he's big and he picks up speed coming over that blue line. And I don't know who it was he caught tonight. He just did not have the ability to keep up to him. And he drops that shoulder. He just goes right to the net. I love to see that too. So
yeah,
another positive.
No, I love it too.
Johnny positive over here.
No, but I think that's sustainable. I don't think that's like a scouting report issue. I think that's just a guy who is playing up the lineup. So he's getting more minutes. So there's more opportunity. And he's playing against, lesser opponents as well. You just mentioned that you don't really love the Avs depth. He's not playing against top lines every single night. And now he knows that he's not just one mistake away from being pulled out of the lineup. And so he's playing with a little bit more aggression rather than some of these times. He's probably just thinking, just dump it in and chase it. He's actually trying to carry the puck through the neutral zone and then driving the net. So good for McMahon. He did it again. Right.
The last thing I want to mention, and it's just these things are coming to me as I look at my notes here.
Yeah, no,
we were hard. We were hard on Willie, right? When he was slow coming out of the break, and people will probably come back and look at our clips and be like, "Oh, he's finally coming out of it." And he's smoking hot again. Like, he is absolutely on fire. 3 more helpers tonight. What I would like to say to that is good. Good. You signed a $92 million contract. I would like you to look like this. This is what I expect now. So there you go. Yeah. Great job.
I'm like, one of the things that I'm definitely becoming way more of a fan of, and this has been part of the Matthews thing because of all the goals, is primary point percentage. And like, he had a good game. Like, there's no doubt about it. And his line scored a ton, but 2 of them are second assists. And one is where he's trying to kind of like flail a puck back on the net. I don't like the fact that he tried to pass it to Domi there. I felt like he got locked into Domi brain.
He made a great play. He made a great play on the Bertuzzi goal for the winner. From behind the net. That was a nice pass. Yeah,
that was a really nice pass. Oh, actually, I guess both 2 were primary. But so the first drive, I was like, Joe, you just scored shooting it in the net on this exact angle, on this exact play. Like, don't mess with success. Just rip it in there. And luckily, Bertuzzi was there to kind of hammer it home, and he got a little piece of it. But I was like, don't pass it to Domi there. He's just shoot it.
Domi wants to pass it to you. That's what he wants to do. Like, if you get that puck to Domi, he's gonna rip it right back at you. So just shoot it.
You're right though. He's been hot. He's been playing great.
Red hot again. Dude.
When all the Leafs stars are going, they look like a pretty formidable team, especially now that they found some depth. Okay, Absolutely. Let's wrap this sucker up.
Beautiful.
Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Spotify. For the love of God, do those things. Leave 5 stars if you're on either of them. It helps so much. Same thing with just the thumbs up. All you got to do is those 2 things. Share it when you see it on social media. Follow us there at JD Bunkis, at Stanley McKee. And we'll see you, they're back home
Tuesday against the Knights again. Yep. Tuesday against the Knights.
Knights and then Yotes.
Repeats. Couple repeats.
Yeah, a couple home repeats. All right. For JD Bunkis and Sam McKee, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.